Welcome to part 2 of Integrated Marketing Communications. So let's have a look at some of the challenges of service communications then. So we have, first of all, managing internal marketing communications and internals within our organisation, so the messages that we communicate to our employees. We have overcome issues of service intangibility. Now, intangibility is a key thing, like a key concept, a key concern that keeps coming up in services marketing because it really differentiates what services marketing is compared to what traditional marketing is. Managing promises and customer expectations. There's always the temptation to over-promise and undersell, where we say how amazing our product is, and then when the customer finally experiences that moment of truth, it's not what the level or what we promised them was going to be, and therefore they get upset. The reason why we want to manage promises is because if we oversell it to increase demand, and then new customers coming in, that seems good in the short run, but in the long run, they're dissatisfied, so it actually does more damage to our business. And then last, we'll educate our customers in customer learning. So let's have a look at intangibility. So generally, refers to items that compromise the class of objects, persons, or events. Marketers seeking to create a distinctive value proposition is to communicate what makes a specific offering distinctly different from, and hopefully superior to, competing offerings within the market, right? So abstractness, because abstract concepts such as financial security do not have a one-to-one correspondence with physical objects, a lot of what we are selling is abstract concepts. It can be challenging for marketers to communicate their services to those concepts. So you got to think about, well, what's that state of felt deprivation? What's that need? What's that core product? And then how can we sort of image that in people's minds? Non-searchability refers to the fact that intangibles cannot be searched or inspected before they've purchased. We've dealt with this in the product section of the marketing mix. And then mental impalpability. Many services are sufficiently complex, multi-dimensional, or novel that it's difficult for the customer just to engage with that service. There's plenty of examples that, like the example I think of is construction. It's an incredibly complex product which involves many different people doing many different trades and services coming in to do many different things with many different materials and stuff like that, to the point where customers don't actually understand what the construction company is doing, and they get confused and really rely on these other indicators of quality, surrogate indicators of quality, to let them know what's actually going on, because they don't understand themselves. It's too complex. And that's the same with many other services we provide, because the whole reason why people are paying us to do it in the first place is because either they can't do it themselves or don't want to do it themselves. All right, challenges of managing promises and expectations. Creating a powerful service brand, which if we know what our positioning is, we know what our communication strategy is, we really want to get that brand. Brand in this context is the big concept of brand, where it represents our positioning and what we stand for and how we communicate that. So the external controllable company communication must be coordinated, usually by us as marketing managers. We tend to like to take control of that, not to the point where it's all command and control, strict and stuff like that, but we do come up with brand guidelines. We do have themes. We do have to help our staff know what our values are and what the messages that we're trying to communicate to the customer. If your staff don't know what the positioning of the firm is, and when I say staff, I mean marketing staff and key management staff, you've got an issue. Not all frontline staff are going to understand complex marketing concepts like positioning and how that works. So you can't really expect them to fully comprehend that. But you can still tell them, well, this is the value proposition that we've got. This is what we want our customers to think about us, right? All right. So do not overpromise and underdeliver. That's the short road down to company business failure. And it's so tempting to do because you want to make more sales, so you just promise more and more and more. And you fall into that trap. And the more you promise, the more you have to deliver, the more resources you get short, and then it gets painful. Create tiered value service offerings. So you've got platinum tier, gold tier, and we've talked about customer value segmentation, how our customers are different value, where you've got, should be this one, the customer value pyramid, where you've got a few customers that are extremely valuable, and then sort of more customers that are less valuable as we go down. So then if some customers are more valuable than other customers, customize, and this is the beautiful thing about service, because it's so customized, we can adjust and increase the value of our services that we offer to them all and match the value of our customers. Right, educating customers is important. Customers are often co-producers, so they do things with us. Like when you go to the tax agent, he doesn't just do it on his own, or she doesn't just do it on her own. You come there with your receipts and they ask you a heap of questions, and often you fill it out together, right? Like you need to work together to do these things. Customers need to understand how to perform their roles in production, which is why we do that role and service script. Service scripts to understand the various steps in the production of the service. We educate customers to avoid peak demand periods. So if your customers know when it's busy or how to avoid these unpleasantries, then they can, it's in their benefit to do that and your benefit to do that. So it's the mutually beneficial that you both do that for both of you. So, and really the only limiting factor is them understanding or knowing it. So that comes education, customer learning becomes the key part. Right, now, internal marketing communications, providing employees with up-to-date information. Examples include company newsletters, the company magazine, internal emails, intranet, personal briefings, meetings and stuff like that. Employees need to know what the customer promises have been made via the ads. So if the marketing department goes out there and does their own thing and is promising the world, do your employees know what's going on out there? So that's our job too. So usually when you start a new campaign, you'll have a meeting with the staff and go, this campaign's going to be going live next week. Yada yada. This is what it's about. This is how we develop the campaign, and that's internal marketing communication. It's really beneficial because not only does it make the staff feel like they're included and part of it, but then they know where you come from and why it's been done that way. The internal marketing of the brand, a big part of culture. Frontline employees are walking, talking advertisements of the company, the brand. They call them organisational ambassadors or brand ambassadors, that type of thing. Linking external and internal marketing so the staff hear the same thing from management the customers are hearing. And it's quite awkward when the management is saying one thing and then your staff come up to you and go, well, I've heard this, and you guys said this. And you're like, what? It's the first I've ever heard of it. And that can be a key issue. You actually end up learning from the customers instead of your customers learning from you. So integrated marketing communications planning. So planning a marketing communications campaign should reflect a good understanding of a service product and how well prospective buyers can evaluate the characteristics of the service in advance of the purchase. So you've got this 5 W's model of integrated marketing communications. I think it's quite effective. It's really good. It's like when we start doing ads and developing campaigns and stuff like that, just smash it down. It seems too simple, but it's not, because it captures the essence of a lot of the complex stuff that we're doing. So who is our target audience? Now, who is just one simple word, but that who sort of involves, from a marketing perspective, our whole segmentation, targeting and positioning, right? So all the work that we've done for that, which we should be doing before we do campaigns, is really to answer that question of who are we communicating to? And then what do we need to communicate to achieve? Communicate and achieve. So, what's the message going to be? What's our value proposition? How should we communicate it? There's the selection of the medium. Where should we communicate this? The location. Usually that's digitally mostly anyway, but like for buses and stuff like that, like if you've got signage at buses or billboards, they're very place-based type communication. So where are you going to put those? When do the communications need to take place? All right. Now, the marketing communications mix is a selection of cost-effective communication channels. They involve numerous forms of communication, and collectively they're called the marketing communications mix. It includes things such as personal communications, like salespeople talking to your customers, advertising, like I keep forgetting the name of it, like newspapers and magazines and stuff like that. Sales promotions, where if you go to the supermarket and they've got at the end of the aisle, they've got a cardboard cutout there and they've got Kinder Surprise eggs on there for sale or something like that. That's a sales promotion. Publicity and public relations are actually different things, but I was running out of room. Web-based information, such as websites, which includes search engine optimization and search engine marketing, social media marketing, of course, and other direct marketing, such as database marketing and stuff like that. Instructional materials, teaching your customers how to use your product and whatnot. That's another part of the communications that you do with them. Corporate designs like branding, logos, signs, and that sort of stuff as well. So here we have the last slide for this week, and that's the sources of messages received by a target audience. So these are messages over which the organisation has some control. I say some control because we don't always have complete control over it. And these ones are messages largely outside the control of the organisation. Now, service production and delivery channels such as service encounters with staff, because we have control by training our staff, that reaches our target audience. Other service encounters from third-party suppliers, which we have some control over because we can tell them, the messages that we're communicating, stuff like that, and because they're involved in our intermediaries, they're part of our marketing logistics. Self-serve touch points. All right, and then we've got the marketing communication channels in traditional ones, such as advertising, public relations, direct marketing, sales promotion, personal selling, trade shows, and internet. They're pretty similar, much the same as what we've covered off in principles of marketing. Now, we get to the ones we don't have control over: word of mouth, online social networks, and then print and other media coverage, such as, like the Examiner runs a story on your business or something like that. Now, of these, usually word of mouth is very powerful, and that's the one we don't have a lot of control over because it's organic, right? And it's really indicative. Like, we could pay people to say nice things about us, but then our customers are going to be, or potential customers are going to be like, yeah, no, I'm not really buying that because it's not authentic or genuine. Whereas if it's word of mouth, someone goes, I went to this business and it's really good, you should try it. That's a lot more genuine and authentic, and it's something we don't have direct control over, but by doing good marketing and offering a good value proposition and having a clear, consistent communication, we do have some control over it. All right, so that's it for this week. Thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you next time.